Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bazzatees and UFC on the World of Sport TV. Still no green screen. Hopefully my mates come to fix it on Tuesday for the third time. So you're just going to have to put up with that silly little comment up there that the missus likes. Billy's been asleep all day. He's refreshed after his night shift. I've had 5 hours sleep. It's been fun. 4 hours of streaming, watching the games. 2 bets, 2 wins. Happy days. I know Jade's going to absolutely hammer me because no one that I predicted would get a yellow card on Saturday got a yellow card, and I'm sure she's ready to absolutely hammer me for that. But let's bring the guys in. Good evening, everyone.
Evening, everyone.
Hello.
Rocking and rolling. I absolutely love it. Billy will be rocking and rolling in about 2 hours' time when he's on the phone again.
Early night tonight. I've got to be in bed. I've got to be asleep by 12 o'clock.
Have you got work tomorrow, Billy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and you got work in 2 hours as well.
We're all glad for contract phones with unlimited minutes, because otherwise your phone bill would be a bomb.
It would be. I remember when I got my first contract when I was 18 and I had a date, and literally I think I bumped my bill. It was that bad. So bad, so terrible. But anyway, football. That beautiful sport we love. Fantastic result, Billy. Obviously, it looked so good at final whistle, but then when the final whistle went in the Watford and Burnley game, it kind of put a little bit of a sour note on it because I thought we should have beat West Ham, to be honest with you. But it's still a point. We would have took a point before the game kicked off, wouldn't we? We
certainly would have, but at the end of the 90 minutes, I think we can actually say we deserved 3. I thought we're the better side for the vast majority of that game. Yep. The Burnley result and the Watford result are irrelevant to me. If we do our job, we'll be nowhere near that relegation zone come the end of the season.
This is true. This is true. Looking ahead rather than behind us. But, I mean, if you look at it, the results ahead of us, Jade, all went our way, really. It was just the results behind us didn't.
Yeah, a little bit of a change over there. It's odd looking above us than looking behind us. I'm still doing both. To be fair, I'm still checking everything because I'm still taking it game by game. But a really solid away point. I predicted a draw, so I was happy with that. I was happy with the performance. And I think it was a really good point away from home. I think both teams could have won it at some certain stages. Both had chances, but a point away at a team challenging for the top 4, given the form they're in this year. Yeah, it's really solid.
Absolute cracking point. We both predicted a draw. I said 2-2. Yeah. You said 2-2 as well?
I did say 2-2, yeah.
I thought it would be a bit high scoring, but the stats, I mean, sort of proved it was a bit of a scrappy game again. We didn't let West Ham play, just like we didn't let Everton play. We didn't let Villa play. Fell into our hands a little bit, and going forward, if we just had that final quality, you know, with ASM being missing, Trippier being missing the final ball, you know, it could have been a different story, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why my prediction a week ago was 2-2, and I swapped it to 3-2 to us because I thought ASM was going to exploit what their fullbacks were so poor, with the exception of the Cresswell delivery. They were so poor for West Ham. Yeah. So I do feel like with ASM we would have got 3 points. But yeah, we were on shots and possession and just overall quality in the game. I'd say I feel like saying a draw is a fair result is a little tough to take. I'd say we were marginally better over the 90 minutes, not by much, but I think it was I think it were good signs considering we had the 3 best players missing. It was decent. It shows that most of the squad have stepped up. So yeah, just missing that little bit of spark. I think going forward in the summer when we make signings, I think Fraser or Murphy are going to be impact players. I don't think we can have both of them on. I don't think they're good enough individually to both be on the pitch at the same time. But whereas one of them coming in as a support, you know, like all of the good teams you've had in the past, you know, you look at your old Manchester Uniteds and stuff, they've had some absolute dross that we've known they've been dross when they've moved to fresh teams, but then under Man United, they've come in as individuals and done all right in the team. I feel like we'll need to keep some of these sort of Murphys and Frasers around for another year or two, for sure, definitely, because they work hard and they're not too bad.
Yep, definitely. Let's have a look at the lineups that we predicted. So this is what we thought would happen. Obviously, we weren't. Well, you Billy and Jade, you weren't too far off. We predicted that Lascelles wouldn't get his place back because he didn't deserve it. And Burn or Shaw didn't deserve to be dropped, just like Shaw didn't deserve to be dropped if Lascelles was fit, or Burn, or vice versa. Obviously, Saint-Maximin was the big one that was missing. Are we reading into this or not? Or was it generally an injury, or has there been a bit of a spat, Billy? What do you think?
No, I'm going to say it's an injury. I think Eddie Howe's would have kind of intimated if anything was wrong. I'll just believe it's an injury. I'll believe it until we'll see different. I'm going to believe it how it's been portrayed.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the official lineup. So as you can see, we were so close. Obviously, no one predicted that ASM was going to miss the game because we all thought he was going to the game, and until we got told he wasn't on the coach, it was like, what the hell? But these things happen. I mean, this team did us proud, to be honest with you. We'll go into that though. This is Stevie's predicted lineup for West Ham. I don't think he was that far off either, was he?
It's Kufal for
Fredericks. For Fredericks, but obviously he got hauled off, didn't he? Quite early. I can't remember what time he came off, but he got his yellow card that Stevie predicted. Stevie was the only one who predicted a card right. Obviously, I had a mare because I had John Joe and Joe Linton to be carded, and there was Kraft and Dan Burn that got yellow cards. I was absolutely gutted.
I mean, that was a free hit there. Kraft getting a yellow card. Come on.
Oh, it was. And to be fair to him, he had an absolute appalling first half. And I mean, his fault for the goal, for even on the cross as well. Why was he fouling him in that area is the first thing we have to clear up. And then from the cross, he just didn't come across the flight of the ball, did he? Which gave Dawson a free header. And it was a good header. It was a good goal, but it was completely against the run of play. But Kraft, I mean, he did all right in the second half. I am going to give him a little bit of praise because we did look quite solid in the second half. But that first half performance was shocking. And he always obviously was the lowest rated player in the whole team on the stats. So that doesn't surprise me either. But Billy, do you think West Ham missed a trick in that second half and not attacking down that side as much as they could have? Or did we just stop them from playing down that side? It's a weird performance, wasn't it? Because it felt like it was a good game, but it really wasn't in the stats. I think there was only one shot on target in the second half.
I think West Ham have been treading water for a few weeks, to be fair to them. And I kind of think it's a mixture of the two things that you said. I think it's a bit of a stopping them playing and also them not having the intelligence to do it. I think they were more concerned with our attack than they were with their own, to be quite fair at times.
What did you make of Antonio's performance, Jay? Because I found every time he picked up the ball, he was on the wing. I was like, this is their centre forward. What's going on? Why is Antonio out there? He should be in the middle scoring goals. I was a bit surprised.
In my many scribbled notes, which looks more like hieroglyphics than actual notes, but I can understand them, so that's all that matters. I have noted down many a time that as their front man, the man who's probably going to outmuscle the likes of Kraft and Cher on that side, who's going to make the runs, he's continuously been found out on the wing, which I found really confusing because if he did have the ball, there was nobody in the middle for him. Yeah. And then there were times where he was taking the throw-ins, and I'm like, well, you should be the person that the ball's going to with the throw-ins. So I found that really odd because it just seemed to mean that at the top they were lacking that top front man, which I think helped us in the end because we were also lacking a top front man. So it was kind of midfield versus midfield.
Yeah. Alex, is he trying too hard, Antonio, for West Ham? Obviously, he hit form last season. He's been hit and miss this season so far. Is he just trying a bit too hard now, or is he starting to maybe deteriorate a little bit as a striker? Obviously, he's 31, isn't he, or 32 now? So he's getting on a little bit.
I'd need to check. I'm not sure. But in terms of, I haven't watched many recent West Ham performances beyond the highlights, like in research for our game. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm 50-50 whether it was his fault or whether it was Moyes' fault, because that whole attacking line, except Bowen, was just so... Why was Ben Rama in the 10? Has he ever played in the 10? Like, why was Fornals on the left? Even the West Ham fan we had on predicted 4 nows and a 10.
Yeah,
Why was Antonio on the left wing for? I don't understand was that something they'd worked on? Were they trying to do something that didn't come off and we can't see, or was it just a mess? I'm not 100% ready to put the blame all on Antonio for that, purely because I'm just so confused by their attacking positions. I don't get it. I don't understand what they were trying to do. I don't know if it's Moyes or Antonio, but they got to sort that out, because they can't do that for the remaining games, because that was, there are better defenses than ours and there are better attacks than ours. So they can't do that for the remainder of their season and hope to even get Europa League. They need to sort that out, because they don't really have any depth. That bench looked quite poor. So with the exception of Noble and Yarmolenko, they haven't got anything on their bench. So they need to sort that out very quickly.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is Antonio found himself on the left wing quite a lot, and maybe he was trying to exploit.
Yeah, my match notes about 8 times I've written down.
Likes of Ben Rama and stuff to do that. That would have been their job. Their job is to pull the left back, right back out of position to make the space for Antonio in the middle. So as Alex said, it doesn't make any sense why he was then out there, because it just meant there was nobody in the middle.
Yeah.
I think West Ham were trying to blind it with science and haven't quite got the qualities to do the kind of floating front three that Man City have got. Yeah. I think that's basically it.
Potentially. Right, very quickly, guys, please hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying what you're seeing, and hit that notification button and hit the thumbs up, please. Please consider becoming a member, 99p a month if you would like to, or $1.99 or $2.99. You choose what you want to pay. We will be buying prizes from Sports Trader to give prizes to our members only. If you'd like to donate, hit the $ in the bottom right-hand corner in the chat and donate what you can afford or what you would like. If everyone donated £1 tonight, that would be incredible. And then we'll buy a prize for the members and also for anyone who donates. Please consider checking out the sponsor of the channel, Northern Soul Guy. You want to brighten up your home, buy one of his stuff. FM for Claire is in full swing. There's some offers on at the moment, so if you need any aftershave or perfumes or any, amazing stuff, please contact her. The stuff is fantastic. There's an email address there and Instagram and all that kind of stuff that I haven't got a clue how it all works. We'll go to some comments because there's tons of them, and we're missing quite a few. Hi everyone. Oh, there's loads. Oh, please don't tell me there's some stupid ones.
No.
It better not be.
It's not as bad as I've seen on previous nights, good. So we should be all right.
Good. I have spoken to some people and asked them to cool it down a little bit.
You mentioned a throw-in. Kraft's foul throw.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's in my notes, that man. It's in my notes. I literally wrote one thing about Kraft, and that was that in 1 minute and 40-something seconds in, he won 2 headers. Just
I've got the same. Line. I was like, okay then.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a weird start to my notes. Kraft's won 2 headers. I'm going to note that one down. And then after that, it's just a catalogue of mistakes that he's made all the way.
Mate, mine literally says Kraft wins first header, well done. Kraft poor long ball, but wins second header. That's literally what my first 2 notes say.
You want a little shocked face as well, like the 2 lines in a big circle. Like. And then after that, it all goes to pop for him.
Foul throw.
I mean, you're a professional footballer. How are you foul throwing it on a 3-year-old?
People get They get fined for yellow cards and red cards, right? At most clubs, you need to start getting fined for foul throws. It's no excuse.
It shouldn't happen
for foul throws.
No, my 6-year-old nephew can do a throw in, so won't accept
that. Players get away with it. I mean, a lot of them do it and get away with it, don't they? Start off and they get flagged up.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, my yellow cards were pretty shocking, unfortunately. But I landed an
8-1. I did write it down and keep note.
I landed an 8-1 bet today for everyone who was watching the live stream between Leicester and Wolves. I had Sunchi to be yellow carded, over 2.5 cards, both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals. 8-1. Boom. 90% of it was in by half time. I only needed 1 more goal in the second half, and that was it.
To make up for the awful one that he gave you all the other day.
Yes, for the awful one I gave you yesterday. Yeah. And I also predicted over 3.5 goals in the Leeds Man United game as well. So.
Moral of the story, lads, don't bed.
The house always wins.
The house always wins. It does, unfortunately.
It does, trust me.
But we can have a little bit of fun on live streams. That's the idea of it. Don't bet too much and all that sort of stuff. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and all that sort of stuff. I'm just trying to see if there's any good comments in here. Hi, guys. Sorry, I'm late again. No, we don't have an alternative to Wood, and we're going to come on to Wood, no doubt, because I know there's going to be some fiery conversations about him potentially. Even though I hope you're great stuff. We deserve points. J7, Burn, Target, and Willock were beasts. 12th man. Hello, everyone. Foundations Eddie put in his team is fantastic. Absolutely top-class manager. I wouldn't want anyone else. Yeah, I'm going to bring this one up very quickly because there was a lot of talk of like, Steven Gerrard, we should get him, we should get this. And then West and Aston Villa were like, oh, yeah, we've got the best young manager. Who gives a shit about Eddie Howe? Now look at the tables turning. So who would you rather have right now? It's got to be Eddie Howe over Steven Gerrard because Villa seem to have had their new manager bounce, and now we're on a free fall drop, really, aren't they, Billy?
Absolutely. They're not out of danger by any stretch of the imagination. If we're on a real bad run, I expect us to overtake them in the next 4 or 5 weeks. I really do. What Eddie Howe's done for that squad has been nothing short of amazing. The fitness levels, the way we play in the game, to get kind of threats out of players that weren't doing anything before. So dangerous when we're really, to all intents and purposes, we're playing with 10 men on the pitch. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Jade, how would you sum up Eddie Howe's performances so far?
Like Billy said, you can't look at it as anything other than you look at the team that we had a couple of months ago and the way that they play now. Everything from team spirit to the unity to the way they celebrate together. If we score a goal, everyone celebrates together. Whereas before, it was like they didn't like each other. Whereas now you can see that they all defend each other on challenges. When the arguments are happening, they're all sticking in together. They stand up for their man. So everything down from personnel and morale all the way through to defending together as a team and backing each other up on and off the pitch. You can just see what he's instilling and how that's going to build. And it's really nice to see because, like I said, for the past couple of seasons, you look at them all, none of them speak. They don't speak to each other. There can't be any no talking on the pitch. It was like they didn't like each other. So to see that new unity and actually be united, so to speak, it makes a really nice change. You can't discredit anything that he's done. I read a couple of comments about as soon as the summer comes, if we stay up, he's gone and some other manager's going to come in. And I was like, I can't see that. I think he'll get the next season to build and see what he can do. Yeah. I'd love to see him, be the one that lifts the trophy with us because the passion that you can see on the touchline he has for this club and these fans is nothing short of incredible. The guy loves it. So long may he continue.
Absolutely agree. Billy, Gemma's tried to steal your T-shirts already. Alex, what do you make of Eddie Howe's performance so far?
Yeah, I still think he's massively underrated. He's done some crazy things with formations. He's not succumbed to pressure from fans to start players in positions or change teams. Most of the losses and goals conceded have come from errors out of his control as well. A lot of these results came from from Clark and different various things that kind of weren't really in his control. The Cavani goal from Man United was because we were playing Manquillo and he got skinned on his wrong foot because he's not a left back. A lot of this is kind of out of his hands. And a lot of it that was in his control, he's got spot on. He's varied his formations, his tactics. I personally don't think that it was a 4-3-3 against West Ham. I think it was a 4-1-4-1 on and off the ball for most of the time because the fullbacks were pushed up. Everybody was so high. And Shelvey was just that anchor man, just ticking everything so well. He's comparing him to Gerrard, like you said as well. I mean, how specifically in his time off went and studied in Spain and abroad, and he's been growing his portfolio and his knowledge and his tactics. He's kept his team in the loop. He seems like he's on board to become a top manager himself. That looks like that's his ambition. So he's not just riding whatever comes along. He looks like that was his goal before we were an option for him. That looked like that was his plan anyway. And he looks very capable. I don't see why he can't grow with us.
Yeah, I love it.
I do remember the argument actually when he was at Bournemouth, leaving Bournemouth and whatnot before Gareth Southgate got your England job, that there were so many fans calling for Eddie Howe to be the English manager of England because of the job that he did with Bournemouth. So to read everyone now kind of pick at him because he went to Newcastle, and there's this now newfound hatred for Newcastle, which I'm living for, by the way. So keep going. I do find that turn quite funny, because for a young English manager that everyone was screaming for a few years ago, you know, young, hungry, wants the success, give him a chance, to now, suddenly he's not very good. Well, he obviously is quite good. And as Alex said, he spent a lot of the summer with Diego Simeone at Atletico. So it's not like he's just been sat around on his backside. He's gone and been working and studying some of the best teams in Europe and working with those managers. So you've got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just say something, Barry, before we go any further? Mods or Barry, if you can see the comment further up, that Steph Bainbridge needs blocking because he's made an absolute horrendous comment, something that no one should say. The message has been deleted. He needs blocking. So I'll tell you after what he said.
All right, cool. How long do we stick with Wood if he doesn't score? Personally, we stick with him until Wilson's back, basically, because he is our only option. And I just want to throw out a little stat. Chris Wood is the only Newcastle player, apart from Bruno Guimaraes, who's undefeated. He's our lucky charm. Look at Alex's face. I knew he was going to do that. But yes, he is unbeaten. You're going to have to suck it up. It is
There is nothing to suck up there, okay?
There's
absolutely nothing to suck. Like, no.
It's a fact, though.
I'm pretty sure this is probably one of the times that me and Alex are going to agree with each other here. Is on this gentleman.
It's a fact, though. Since Wood came in, Newcastle are undefeated.
Because of Chris Wood?
No, just I think he offers something that nobody else does, and he's a little lucky charm for us.
We should put a lucky horse fucking shoe up front then. Or a rabbit foot.
It would be nice if you would score. Don't get me wrong, but we'll talk about Wood in a little bit more detail, because I had an argument. Well, I say an argument, disagreement with someone online. Someone said we put in. Someone said
Alex, Baz is the arguer, and I'm the debater.
Yeah. So someone put in.
Wood is a masturbator.
That was you, Billy.
But someone said we put in 12 good crosses against West Ham. 12 crosses that Wood
7 accurate crosses,
but they weren't all to Wood though. And I thought the crossing was absolutely shocking, to be honest with you. At times, Murphy at times didn't understand what he was doing. Fraser was overhitting them, Kraft was overhitting them, and then Target was underhitting them. It was just like, oh my God, just get it in the middle, beat the first man, and stop overhitting them. But you know, Wood's a target man, and unless the ball's literally within a few yards of him, you know he's not going to get to it because he's not mobile enough. But
even if it's glued on his foot, he's not going to get to it either. With another game with 0 ground duels. When's he going to win one of them, Barry?
He's never going to win a ground duel. He's not that kind of player.
I want to watch this duel, the Alex versus Baz.
But let's face it, he won the day, didn't he?
No.
Yes,
Willock won the day. Willock scored a goal, and the rest of the midfield.
The shithousery of anything. When every time he got near Kurt Zouma,
is that confirmed?
Kurt Zuma's stats are really good. He had him quiet.
He did have a good game. Have a good game, Kurt Zouma.
I found that quite funny, because every duel that I saw, Wood lost.
Yeah, Kurt Zouma.
So if Alex has any more confirmation,
I think he was 7 on 17 aerial duels.
There you go.
So he lost a lot. He lost 10. The 7 is a lot to win, but he also lost 10 because the centre backs for West Ham did pretty well at keeping him quiet.
They were very good. But he did occupy 2 centre backs a lot of the time in the middle, but that was because again he was quite isolated a lot. But
this is the one thing I'll agree with you on, is he occupies defenders, but beyond that, I don't see what else he does. But he does occupy defenders, 100%.
And it frees up space for other people like Murphy and Fraser to exploit. I want to talk about one more West Ham player, because I thought he had a brilliant game, and I watched it quite a lot happening. Fornells. Every single time Shelvey tried to get on the ball, Fornells was there. He was on him a lot. Alex, I'm surprised you're doing that, because every time Shelvey was trying to play that quarterback and pick up the ball off the defence, I noticed, especially in the first half, Fornells was on him. And I mentioned it a lot in the live stream. If you actually watch it back, I know you probably won't want to because it's gone now. But if you watch the game again, Fornells was on Shelvey quite a lot, stopping us from trying to get the ball from the back to Shelvey. And there was a lot of times in the second half that even Willock had to come back and take the ball off the defence to try and get it forward, because they were marshalling Shelvey quite well. I thought he had a good game, Fornells. I don't know if anyone disagrees with that, but I thought he did well.
I think he was at fault for our goal. He let Kraft dribble into space and float it in. And then Fraser won the header against Dawson, and then the following scramble got the goal. So Fornell's not tracking, got us the goal. And Shelvey had a 92% pass accuracy and got 8 long balls. So he didn't seem particularly rattled by the pressure. He got good passes forward.
Shelvey in the first half was passing the ball a lot, and then suddenly Fornells was on him after that. It's like they made a tactical change and said, right, we need to sit on Shelvey. And if you watch it in the second half, they sat on quite a lot to try and stop him from playing. And then you look at the stats in the second half, there was only 1 shot on target. No team looked like they were going to win it because nobody had the creativity to win that game. It was always going to peter out to 1-1 in my eyes, just the way that it went.
I think people were quite knackered. Everybody was very physical. Sort of 75 minutes, you could see Joe Linton was knackered. Rice and Souček were knackered. They'd been kicking 10 boots out of each other. They were knackered. It was so physical.
It was a very physical game, and it was fun to watch. It was getting nervy in the last 10 minutes because I just thought, oh God, it's going to be a typical Newcastle here. We're going to concede. And
it just got very scrappy, didn't it?
Yeah,
very,
it did.
Very end-to-end, very scrappy. There was a lot of mistakes, a lot of flying challenges, and it just looked like somebody was going to make a mistake at one end or the other from how messy it got.
Did Murphy do enough to keep his players? Personally, no. ASM walked straight back into that team. I thought Murphy did all right, but again, his end quality really annoyed me. I remember really good pass, which obviously the reverse pass to Fraser, which then he crossed it and the goal came from it. But let's face it, if it wasn't for Declan Rice with a 50p heed, we wouldn't have scored that goal, would we?
But it was mentioned he can't head the ball, wasn't it? So it kind of worked. I did sit and giggle to myself when he misheaded it as well, because I thought we literally talked about this, that Declan Rice doesn't head the ball and his defensive header was abysmal. So I was like, there it is. We pointed this out. He doesn't head the ball, and that pretty much summed it up right there.
But he was fantastic, Declan Rice, in the game. I think he had the most pass success rate. I'm sure he did by 0.2%.
I didn't think he had a good game, but
yeah, I agree with Jay.
And I honestly thought he had. I thought he had probably one of the worst.
He put good numbers up, but he messed up in the
passing. Wasn't great for him. It wasn't like he was pinging balls here, there, and everywhere. A lot of it was kind of within his circle. I honestly thought he was kept quite quiet in that game. I thought he had a pretty off game. To be fair, one of the few that he has, and I felt he had it against us.
He nearly put Joe Linton in for a goal as well. Like, he could have been the result of 2 of our goals. So I can't say he had a good game. He was all right on paper.
I thought he had a poor game, personally.
We could have taken 3 points just because of Rice being bad.
I mean, that midfield three of ours is dominating midfields. Dominating all sorts of midfields all season. Them three, within the three of themselves, have been absolutely outstanding. And that's why we're not seeing Bruno in the side, isn't it? Let's be perfectly frank about it.
Yes, I would like Bruno to come on for when Willock went off, but he decided to bring Almiron on. Who
I have a solution to that problem, though.
I think that was for the pace.
Yeah, I think it was.
Where you have, the likes of the players that were running up and down those wings from where it was so frantic. We needed somebody with a bit of legs, and although he doesn't offer much else, he can run.
Offers legs.
Yes, he offers legs and he can run. So he was brought on to do that job and that job only, and he did it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some Newcastle unbelievable performances. Dan Burn, obviously, in his second game, absolutely outstanding. 100% tackles won, 80% passing accuracy, 78 touches, 7-8 duels won, 5-6 aerial, 7 clearances, 6 ball recoveries, 2 blocks, 1 interception. What a man he is turning out to be. And look at what happened to Brighton yesterday. They got absolutely hammered at Burnley. I know they were missing 2 of the centre-backs, but what a steal for 13 million, Billy.
Yeah, and there's been calls for him for the England squad from the food hall at Marks and Spencer's today, so everything's great for him so far.
Oh, I saw that.
Or was it from the lingerie department at Marks and Spencer's? Somewhere in there.
I mean, I mentioned yesterday that I thought if he played for a lesser nation, he would have 100 caps. If he played for Switzerland, for example. But I never meant England. Just to clarify before anybody connects it to John's comment, I do not think he warrants an England call-up. He'd need
Harry Maguire doesn't either, but he still seems to keep picking him up.
Yeah,
Not that I think Burn should get the call up for England. That's down to you. Like, I have my own opinions on England, but if Harry Maguire can get a call up, then any man can.
I mean,
I think the two best English centre halves are Gomez and Stones, and neither of them are playing at the minute. So why not?
Is Webster English for Brighton?
Another one, yeah, Webster, yeah.
Because he's pretty on it at the moment.
No idea what that says, but there you go. But I mean, I'm running out of superlatives to say about Dan Burn at the moment. There's only 2 games though, and this is why John's obviously jumped the gun for some reason. It's like, throw him in for England. It's like, no, John, come on, mate. Let's just see what he does. Over
Next week he'll be calling for target for England from B&Q fucking Christmas tree department.
Oh, you love him, don't you? We just love him a bit. It's just, why, John? Why did you do that? Matt Targett came back in as well. Obviously, he was cup tied, as we like to call it, against Villa. And again, unbelievable. 80 touches, 35 passes, 3 chances created, 12 crosses, even though a lot of them were pretty poor, to be fair. 2 out of 6 long balls, 1 out of 1 dribbles, 4 out of 4 ground duels, he was absolutely superb at that left back situation. 1 out of 3 aerial duels, 3 tackles, 1 block shot, 1 interception, and 1 clearance. And he's still not even man of the match, and those numbers deserve almost a man of the match performance. If his crosses were better, I might have given him it. Jade, what was your assumption of Target? Great to have him back.
We've been screaming for a decent left back, I think, probably for a good few years now, and it just goes to show the change when you put one in. Because you do, just apart from his, obviously the crossing wasn't great, but everyone has an off game when it comes to crossing. He did his job at the back, apart from the one time that obviously Bowen got through. It's nice to see the relationship between the back that's growing. Do I think it's spot on and perfect yet? No, of course it's not, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was, and there's no doubt in my mind that he starts ahead of the other 2 options. So only a couple of games in, if he could keep improving, that would be great. But I won't fault him just yet because he's clearly an improvement on anything that we've had.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, our left-back situation could have been Matt Ritchie again, couldn't it? Dummett, I mean, I don't mind Dummett, but he doesn't get forward.
Dummett can just never stay fit. So it's hard to judge him because he just doesn't play a run of games.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he was a good pickup, to be honest, Matt Targett. I think it was a really, really clever move.
Huge.
And it was definitely one that we needed. We know we needed the left back and the right back, and we went and got them. And look at the change that's happened.
I think we'll end up buying him, to be honest with you. I think he's been that good already. I know it's only been a couple of games, a bit like Dan Burn, only been a couple of games. But if he keeps putting those solid performances in, why wouldn't you spend 20, 25 million, whatever it's going to take to get him? Still only 20, 26, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, this is his prime, isn't it? So we're getting him, ready built.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to give it a time, though. You know what happened to Willems, so you never know what could happen between now and the end of the season. So,
yeah, I agree. Billy, what do you make of him?
Of Matt Targett, before we got him, we kind of knew he was a solid 7, 8 out of 10 every week, and he's done that for us and probably over egged that. The 2 games he's had, he's been an 8 out of 10 for me both games, and I think it's a fantastic signing, and perhaps one we would look at in the summer to sign full time. But at the moment, he's doing a great job.
Yeah. Martin saying mid-table. I know someone who put a £20 bet on to win over £1,000 that Newcastle will finish in the top 10 this year.
I know somebody who took 66-1 2 weeks ago on Newcastle to finish in the top 10.
It's crazy,
it's
isn't it?
now 16-1.
Yeah,
and
that's mental.
Yeah, that's. I think it's been 6-7 days, a week-ish, since they put the bet on, and it's gone into 16s.
I wonder what kind of cash out he's got or she's got. Probably not good, but obviously the odds are dropping because there's 2 games in hand over Brentford. We could be near the mid-table straight away. It's crazy. It's been a weird league this season. We're only still in the fight because of how poor everybody else is below us as well. So
that's massively worked in our favour this season. Let's be fair. Anyone else where we were before Christmas, you're done. Doomed. That's it. it's really strange season where every other team have been just as bad as us, and we've managed to claw our way out of it and actually look like we could push on and, possibly finish 13th, 14th.
Yeah.
If we manage to keep up some consistency, given where we were just before Christmas, that's absolute madness.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. Newcastle's numbers against West Ham. Again, we had the most shots, 14, most possession, 53%. How many times have we been able to say that in the last 4 years? We've actually had the most possession. Yeah, it's crazy. Most passes as well. That never normally happens. 425. Most corners, 7. Even without ASM, we still took on 10 players with runs, apparently. Most tackles, 13. Most interceptions, 9. And that's all better than what West Ham did. So in numbers, it still feels like we should have won that game. I think it should have been won in the first half. I really do. The chances that we had going forward. But we can't forget that Jared Bowen also hit the crossbar, didn't he? With a great save from Dubravka. He had no right to be scoring from that angle. And luckily for us, Dubravka got a hand on it. So that was a very, very close call.
Alex, you liked my video that I shared on Twitter. You'd notice if Jared Bowen wants to watch that one, his goal shows you how to score from that angle because he buries his.
Yeah. Well, some players do. I mean, do you see the Leeds goal today? The opener for Leeds, his first goal, the cross that flew in the top corner.
I didn't watch the game today.
I
haven't seen that. I know the result.
No.
But...
No, I had Football Manager business to deal with. So.
And I fell asleep. Needed some sleep.
Shock. So it was Rod. I'm sure it was Rodrigo. He was on the left-hand wing, and he went to whip the ball in, and he obviously caught it wrong, and it just flew in the top corner. It was brilliant.
The joy of the wind.
Oh, I love it. Newcastle obviously unbeaten in 6 now. Just 3 wins out of 3. Like, this is the picture. I didn't get a chance to upload it, but I've been looking for this one for ages, and I've been talking about it. Have you all seen this one? That is just incredible.
That's funny.
Dan Burn with Ryan Fraser.
It's funny. Everyone was asking for these pictures beforehand, and there was none. And the last couple of weeks, there's just become an abundance of them. And I think that the club is actually promoting this as well because they keep posting them together as well. So
they've got to do it. If Burn scores, he's got to pick him up and cradle him. It will be the best thing ever.
Lion King, Rafiki and Simba kind of celebration. That's what I want to see.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about Willock's goal because it's been a while. His performances recently have deserved a goal. And again, we have to credit Kraft a little bit because I was thinking when he had the ball, where's he going to go with it? Because he was just over the halfway line, wasn't he? And he looked inside for a pass. There was no one there. So he thought, all right then. And he just went for it down the line.
Asleep, so
yeah, 4 hours asleep. She just thought, sod it, I'll go for it. Maybe 4 hours was thinking it's Kraft. He's not going to go down that wing and do anything. So, I mean, the cross wasn't exactly fantastic, but it did its job. It was flicked on. It found its way to Murphy, who played a clever reverse pass down the line for Fraser, who then crossed it. It got sort of half cleared. Declan Rice was just about 20 yards outside the box. He got his 50p heed on it, and it went backwards. And Willock was there to capitalise. He was quick thinking. Keeper came charging out at him. There was a defender there. He poked his foot out to it. It hit the post, and it just teased everyone, didn't it? And Chesney thought he got back and scooped it away. But the watch said goal. I went absolutely berserk. And I was just like, he deserved that. And his performance again against... I've lost my hand. West Ham was just absolutely fantastic. Carrying the ball again, doing everything he needed to do. I thought he was it was out. We'll get to man in the match soon, but I thought it was him or Joe Linton. But the goal itself, you could see what it meant to him, Alex. He loved it. And
I mean, he was in the right place. Demba Ba described it as a Demba Ba goal, and it's spot on because he smelt it. He knew it. He knew where to be because at the start of the move, he was outside the box, and Fraser won the flick on, and he thought, right, I'm in that 6-yard box, and he put himself in the right place. He was switched on. He was paying attention to space and where to go, on the ball, off the ball. Incredible. He definitely deserved that. Incredible from a box to box. He was that's what we needed, because we needed that kind of extra. There've been so many times where our attackers have been isolated, and Willock became that extra attacker. And with the 4 dribbles and just additional energy, he was and the first half performance was also there. It was just so much better. That's exactly what we need from him. He performed that role perfectly. So I don't know if something's just clicked or if he slowly learned. I mean, he has been improving. So, I mean, hopefully this isn't it. Hopefully he keeps going, because he looks like he's got quite a high skill ceiling. He looked a bit technically better with his feet. He wasn't getting his feet tangled together. He looked fit. Even when he got taken off, I think he could have finished the game. I think it was just more of a. I think it was just a substitution. I don't think he needed to come off. I think he's and I would also give him. I would give him man of the match, definitely. He's my man of the match for sure. He was excellent. I think he deserved it from the media as well. I know they gave it to. They give it to Dawson.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, Sky gave it Dawson.
That's a funny one.
Really?
I've written man of the match Dawson with 3 question marks, because I actually wrote, for me, that it would be Joe Willock in my notes. So I agree with that.
I mean, Willock got a higher rating statistically. I don't get how you give it to Dawson. It's because he's a centre back and they're not meant to score. Maybe that's probably why it went in. But he also, Fraser's flick on for our goal. Dawson was meant to be on him for that. And for some reason that's been forgotten and not counted towards, it's not a negative towards his man of the match. They've ignored it, but he should have been challenging that ball, and we got the goal. Yeah. So,
Billy, what did you make of the goal? Clever or scrappy, or just who cares? It went in.
I thought it was a bit of all of it. I thought his instincts to get there and poke the ball in was fantastic, and it was the kind of stuff we were seeing at the end of last season, wasn't it? He's got an eye for a goal, that's for certain. Let's hope he can kind of be consistent now and kind of go on kind of consistent with the games that he did last year. Not talking about the goals, but just his level of performance. And to be fair, the last 3 or 4 weeks he's done that anyway. People were calling for him to be dropped. So I think he's looked better each game. He's looked fitter. He's looked more involved. Get to grips with the role he's in. So I mean, at the minute he's undroppable, I think. To be perfectly honest. I do have a solution for him to get him in the team and Bruno in as well.
Yeah.
Might be a bit controversial, but
it'll be difficult, Jade, because the 3 in midfield at the moment are undroppable. I mean, you can't drop a team that's not losing and playing so well together.
Yeah, no, I said this before. If they're building in confidence and they're playing as well as they are, which at the moment our midfield has got to be one of the best in the league. If you look at the past 5 games, if you tally up the points between every team, goals scored, goals conceded, whether that's actually would be sat in 4th in the league, joint with Man United, I think it's 3rd. So you can't just drop one. Now you're going to ruin the whole morale that we've been wanting, that United spirit that we've wanted, and the performances. There's a solidity there and a consistency at the moment that's building. You can't just go and drop that. Yes, we all want to see Bruno. I want to see Bruno. Of course I do. Everyone does. It's exciting. We haven't had this excitement for a long time. I do believe in a bedding in period for a player that's come from a different league, who's learning the language, learning the team, learning the area, learning the formations, learning the league. To just throw him in there, I think, would be like throwing the cat amongst the pigeons, given the position that we're in. So I do like the way that we're letting him settle in, because I think he's going to need that. And then when he's ready, that's when he'll play and we'll see the best of him. Otherwise, if he comes on and he gets out-muscled, like when he came on against West Ham, he actually got out-muscled for one of the balls, And if that happens continuously for an entire half of football, all of a sudden, all of that excitement and the build-up that the fans have is suddenly going to be, we've bought a £40 million player from Europe and he can't hold the ball and he's not strong enough and he needs to do this, he needs to get in the gym, and you're going to get all of that hysteria. And people can say it won't happen, but it will, because it happens with every player that comes from European football. That
tackle that you're on about is a foul in France, and it's not in the Premier League.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that.
Is why. No, I'm agreeing with you that he needs this adjustment period.
Yeah,
because
this is what I'm saying.
He probably would have expected that to be a foul.
Yeah.
Whereas Joe Linton, if that came in, he probably would have sensed and tried to fight it or keep going, because they kind of gauge what is going to get blown for and what isn't. Well, I know ASM doesn't, but our midfielders know what's going to get blown and what isn't, and they fight Whereas Bruno went down with the expectation that was going to get blown, because he's used to that, obviously. So, yeah, I think he does need to kind of learn
this period. So,
because it's instinct, right? We as fans know that when we're watching the game, somebody goes down, we kind of know whether that's going to get blown or not because we're used to it. And his instinct has been ingrained in a different league, and it might not match up with the decisions he's going to get if he's getting bullied in midfield.
Exactly.
And if, like Jay said, if he gets shoulder charged like that, every 10 minutes for 90 minutes, he might drop his head a bit, and
you're going to damage the lad. And you're going to get that. He needs to be in the gym. He needs to do this. It needs to be that, put Willock back in and just let him settle. Let Eddie Howe do what he's doing to get him adjusted to the physicality of a different league, and the style of football that we're going to be playing with him in it, and just let it happen naturally. But whilst the midfield are doing the job that they're doing right now, I wouldn't want to be making straight swap out changes anyway, because there's a consistency there and a unity.
And Shelby's captain now, so you can't.
That.
Sells as well,
so you want to be keeping that right now because it's working for us. And right now, given the position that we're in, and it's a very precarious position because we are looking up, but also still a little back down. You want to keep that consistency and solidness together. So swapping and changing like that for me doesn't work right now.
I'll throw another thing in though. If we did just drop Willock and then bring Bruno in straight away, and then Bruno failed, everyone will be on his back straight away, won't they? So Eddie Howe's doing it the right way. He's trying to bed him in.
Bruno's not a box-to-box, so you couldn't just make that swap because we have a system. Because Bruno's not going to do what Willock did for that 90 minutes. It's a different role. And Bruno plays typically left defensive midfielder. And Bruno plays in Joe Linton's role, but slightly deeper with passes. So I don't think he can sit right as a box-to-box. It's completely different. What Willock does is a completely different job. So people calling for the change with Willock Bruno, it also would have to be a system change. It can't just be a player change. So that's why he's not done it, because it's such a big change. It's not just
how about this for solution? Given that Chris Wood has contributed to some of nothing, you push Joe Willock into the kind of Phil Foden floating number 9 false 9 role and bring Bruno in.
Yeah, but then you're asking Bruno to do the Willock job again, which he doesn't do.
But Willock could do kind of something a bit deeper than a normal 9 would be.
Yeah, no, Billy's right, because he would be a false 9, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be a target man, so that might work. I don't want to try it, but I'd try it on Football Manager. I wouldn't like to try it in real life.
I'll give it a go in my next game. All right, and I'll let you know how that goes down.
If Howe does that and we lose to Brentford, he's going to get crucified. So he's not going to do it.
Yeah. So Tanguy said that the only reason why we're winning is because of the other 10 players. I disagree with that. Everyone has their job and everyone's doing their job as best of their ability as they can at the moment. So Wood, yes, he might not have scored any goals, but it doesn't mean he's not working hard for the team. I saw him against Villa tracking back for when ASM was on the ground and covering for him. There's all this sort of stuff that Wood does that Gayle wouldn't do, for example. So swapping Wood for Gayle it just wouldn't work for me. Wood's been asked to be a target man. Gayle would be asked to be a target man in the system that we play, and it just wouldn't work. So you're just going to have to stick with Wood and just have to, get behind him rather than keep criticising him all the time.
I'm behind him during the game.
Yeah.
But I was behind Kraft during the game, always. When they got the shirt on, I'll support you. But,
he's still occupied. I'm not going to get into it anymore. He's still unbeaten, and I'm going to stick with that one. Eddie is still living in a hotel in Newcastle. When he first came, he said he was moving his family up there. What's happened? I don't know. You'll have to ask him, Sean.
I've been in my house for 8 years looking for a new house, and I'm still looking for the new house that I want to live in. So we'll see where he's at in 8 years, because I'm still in mine.
I don't want to know that. Wood lost his individual battles but won the war. Yep. Meow.
Did you get they also put a cat litter tray outside the dressing room?
Did they?
Oh, it counts.
Oh,
We-
it's
we've got
a
the
tunnel
best.
fight
The
every
Newcastle
game
fans were
recently,
brilliant as well, weren't there? There was blow up cats in the away end. You know, he's going to get so much stick for it. He's just going to have to get used to it. He's going to have to understand what he did was completely wrong. I don't agree with him losing his job. I don't agree with anyone losing their job unless they're sent to prison for doing it. He's had these cats taken off him. He's never going to be allowed to own animals again, or he shouldn't be allowed to own animals again. He's been punished. He's going to get crucified for it, but the guy's still got a job to do, and he's just got to take it whenever it comes to him. Now, someone said just back in the chat earlier before, does Murphy keep his place? The Premier League 2000.
If ASM's fit.
Exactly, which I've heard he will be.
Because if ASM's fit, then no.
Well, the reason why he walked
still not
straight
fit,
back
yes.
in is I haven't had a chance to load this picture up, but 105 successful
that.
take-ons. That is double the amount of any other
That
player in the
includes
Premier
the
League.
times that he loops players and then goes back to do it again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just asking,
Only does
literally
that,
just
man.
asking because that happens quite a lot. So are they including those obviously in those stats? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
for
but
context,
I'm
we've got
guessing.
seven successful dribbles against West Ham.
Yeah.
Maxi can kind of normally do that on his own.
One game, yeah.
Just one. I mean, he got 10 in one game for us in a few weeks ago in the Premier League game. So he's more than capable of doing our 90 minutes worth of dribbles on his own. That's how good he is.
So yeah, depends who's fit as to.
That's a brilliant comment.
Oh, mate, that's
limbs. I
just
can't see
limbs
it.
the pigs flying outside my window.
I definitely can't see it.
I love it. Since Bruno can't get in for Willock, can we not put Willock up with ASM, but on the other side and put Bruno
They
in centre
don't do
mid?
the same job.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I'm
my
laughing at you, girls. Laughing at you.
My Begforth criticism kind of turned around. So let's hope this all works for Wood, but I just can't see it myself.
No, I mean, he will come good. I think he will, but he has a job to do. Eddie Howe is happy with the job he's doing. Yes, I would like to see him score some goals.
I mean, you can't be sure of that. I mentioned on Paul's channel yesterday, there were several camera angles of him screaming at Wood from the touchline that he was not in the right position. He wasn't pressuring. Howe was not happy in game at what he was doing. That was only 18 minutes in, I think it was. He was literally screaming at Wood. He was in the wrong place.
I have many notes on my many scrap bits of paper because I'm trying to make it look more professional, but it's really not. Right, the amount of times that Chris Wood drifted away from the 18-yard box.
Oh, did you track that? I didn't track
that.
that.
Oh yeah,
come on,
stat man. I counted personally myself 11 times in which we've gone forward or we're making the final third, and Wood is outside of the 18-yard box. And more on one side or the other, which frustrated me because I'm thinking, well, I want you in the middle to do the job that you are supposed to do, and you're not there. And if Eddie Howe is screaming at him to do that job, and I've got notes of it, then that shows why I am currently Atletico Madrid's best ever manager, football manager, because we both know what we're talking about. Get in the middle.
I mean, if Jade's right, he's not occupying defenders on those 11 times, is he?
No, he's not. Definitely not. And he should be in the middle. But even when he was in the middle, the crosses were shocking as well.
I mean, I've got that. I've got the goal when Kraft puts the ball in. I've put that it's a really poor overhit cross from Kraft.
Yeah.
That just seems to luckily have ricocheted to Murphy, who's played it to Fraser, who's pulled it back. Rice with a poor header, laughing face. And then Joe pokes it into the back of the net. And it's a lovely
I feel like we're being a bit negative. But people have got to
True.
remember, for people thinking we're being negative, there's 3 or 4 of our players playing out their skin right now.
Yes.
And that's not going to happen all season. Joe Linton's going to have bad games, as is Shelby. Shah's not going to have great games. Burns not going to have great. This is going to happen.
Yes.
They're not going to be able to do this all the time. So these things that we're criticizing are going to be really apparent in those games when the others don't smash it. And that's when we're going to potentially drop points that we shouldn't be dropping. So it's important to notice that, and they will be noticed. Eddie Howe will definitely be noticing this. He's not just going to ignore it and go, "Well, he's a lucky charm."
The replays of this match and picking up the same things that we're picking up on, and then putting them into training, then you're delusional. because he absolutely will be picking up these same little niggly faults. Because, like Alex said, these are things that are gonna cost us in a game and have cost us many times before this lovely run that we've been on in games.
Yeah, Bowen needs an England call-up. I agree. Dan Burn over Mings. Mings isn't exactly great either, is he?
I think he's in awful form, isn't he, at the moment? I don't think he's had
there's the stats for the players. I don't know if it's obviously very difficult.
Cannot see a damn thing.
I know it's a nightmare.
Hold on, let me load you up on the PC. I can see it.
So the highest rating was Matt Target, 7.4. Joe Linton says 6.7. Now, Joe Linton didn't play as a 6.7 in my eyes.
Joe Willock's got 7.6.
St Sinclair a link pass.
I've got a 7.6 for Willock as well. I think yours is a bit different.
We're staying as a 4.
Good stuff.
7.3 for Dan Burns, 7 for Shaw, 7.1 for John Joe Shelvey. I thought Joe Linton was like a Rolls Royce at one point in that second half. The way he was just gliding past players like they weren't even there. I thought he was absolutely incredible.
I think 6.7 there is really harsh on Joe Linton.
Yeah, I was not happy that their midfielders got a higher rating than Joe Linton. The eye test definitely wins on that because he looked visually better on the day.
I did enjoy the way that a couple of them bounced off his shoulders and then just led on the ground looking up at him, and he's just kind of looking down at them like, get up, mountain. I did enjoy that. It's pure strength.
He was just absolutely fantastic.
That was amusing.
Yeah. And there was times where he just literally picked up the ball, just knocked it past the player, ran around him like he wasn't even there. I was just like,
I think that's a really harsh rating.
Going on?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. Who was your man of the match then, Billy?
Willock.
Yeah. Jade?
Yeah, I had Joe Willock.
Yeah. Alex?
I'm going to go with Willock as well. I do feel a little hard done by on Shard's not been mentioned by anybody really. And because everybody's just fangirling about Burn, and Shard did 9. He completed 9 long balls and sat there as a press resistant tank. Him, Burn and Shelvey they couldn't get the ball off them 3. It's weird when our centre backs have got the ball. Like, I'm not scared at all anymore, and it's a lovely but weird feeling. And Cher definitely has got
to cover the right back as well, isn't he? So he did have a fantastic game, Cher.
Yeah, he did incredible. Like, we need to get that contract extended. Even if we bring in 2 to 3 more centre backs this summer, I want him in the squad just because he's so good on the ball. He's clever. And, we'll need a bigger squad for what we're trying to achieve. So,
yeah. No, I put out a little bit of a thing on the stream. I have heard rumours that AC Milan are interested in Shaw. Now, would you let Shaw go to AC Milan if we said to them, you have Shaw, you step aside and we get Botman?
I can imagine that's probably part of what would be called the gentleman's agreement, as they call it, if it's going to happen. If they go in for him, with that being the case, it will be improbables. I can imagine it would be a case of, we'll stand aside because we can't pay X, Y, and Z for Botman. However, we'd like to then be able to talk to Shah, and I think that's probably how that one would go down. Although, I really think we should try and keep him.
I wouldn't give him.
I really think we need to just put that contract down
if that was the
and
agreement,
get it signed.
No, because Fernandez is going, isn't he? So, and that would leave us with right-footed centre backs. That would leave us with. Yeah, we'd have Lascelles.
Isn't going to play first team football. We really need to be keeping him.
Yeah, but if the agreement was Shaw goes to AC Milan and we get Botman, who's 21, who you can mould a defence around, and we can still sign other defenders, remember? Would you not take that risk and let Shaw go and get Botman in?
No.
If you had to make the decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm
absolutely not.
Wow.
Because then we go into next season with one right-footed centre-back that knows the squad, which is Lascelles.
But they're not going to summer to work together this time. That's the difference.
That is true, but I just feel really uneasy with Lascelles being the only right-footed centre-back that has been there for time. Like, that would be weird. Because Fernandez is also going to go, so I don't know. I don't see any reason to get rid of Shah. If he wants to go, fine.
I want to keep Shah and still get Botman.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't honestly believe that if we stay up, and I'm still going with if, because you never know, that if we stay up, I don't believe that we should have to bow over now and probably negotiate with anyone. I think we'll be in a perfectly strong position to put our own foot forward and say, this is our way, this is how we're going to do it. End of. And I don't think we should become that pawn for negotiations anymore. I think we should be strong enough and stand our ground.
Unless we sign Clark's name on the contract and do his hair like shares and ship him on a plane to Milan and see if we can con him.
I love it. Brilliant. As Clark, oh my God, yeah. Let's get rid of him completely. Right, let's have a look at the league table. Very, very interesting now. Obviously, the league's been blown open a little bit at the top with Man City getting beaten, Liverpool winning. They did a job on Norwich for us, keeping them down at bottom of the league with 17 points. Burnley getting that unlikely win. I would call it an unlikely win away to Brighton. I didn't expect that. Watford obviously winning away as well, closed the gap, kept the gap to 4 points. Everton now in massive trouble, Leeds in massive trouble, Brentford in massive trouble, Palace catchable as well. We've got a game in hand on them.
And we play them soon, don't we?
Yeah, Villa, Leicester obviously, they'll probably pull away. Southampton are too far ahead. I can't see that bet coming in, finishing in the top 10, Jade, when we're 10
it's
points
not my
behind
bet.
Southampton.
Mine.
And I'm just saying, your friend who's got that bet, it's a big ask, isn't it? But I'm not looking behind me anymore, thinking those three are going to go. Let's do a prediction now, Billy. Who's going to go down from Villa downwards?
Right, I think Norwich for one.
Yeah.
I think Burnley might just get out of it,
Do you think?
So I'm going to say Norwich, Watford, and Brentford.
Ooh. Norwich, Watford, Brentford. Jade?
I'll go with Norwich and Watford. I really want to say Everton just because I really dislike them right now. So I really want to see them go down because right now they're really annoying me. But I'm kind of torn between Brentford and Leeds because they're both in a bit of a free-for-all at the moment. Neither are performing particularly well. Even, today, even Leeds, but they managed to claw back something they still crumbled.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm kind of torn between Brentford and Leeds. I'm still quietly confident that we're going to be all right. So one of those two. I think Brentford or Leeds to go with Watford and Norwich.
Interesting. Alex?
Norwich and Watford are 100% gone, in my opinion. It's the third one that's the tricky one. My gut feeling for the last 3 or 4 weeks has been Brentford all day long. But again, it just depends. Leeds are in a really weird run of form. They could slip through the trapdoor, as could. I could see even Palace getting dragged into it if they have an injury or two. They have a few bad games. Their form doesn't return. If we beat them as well, I think it's probably Brentford. But I think Leeds and Palace are probably a little bit concerned right now. I think Everton will be all right, unfortunately, but I think they'll probably claw it back.
It's just starting to like you.
See, I would love Everton.
I want them to go down, but
I'd love to see it.
I
think you're right. This is why I think it's going to be Brentford or Leeds. Because I do think they're going to just claw it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the teams as well who have played the most games. Obviously, Brentford have played 26, haven't they?
Yeah.
Palace have played 25, and Burnley only 22. I know you can't say because they've got games in hand they're going to survive because of that, because you've still got to get the points. But I think Burnley will get out of it, especially if Weghorst carries on scoring. Sean Dyche has been there and done that. He's not panicking. He knows the league. He knows how to get results. Should have beat Liverpool, really, shouldn't they? They were very unlucky. They will pick up wins that you wouldn't expect them to. And I think it's going to be Leeds, just because Bielsa doesn't know how to change his style of play. He just goes out and tries to win every game gung-ho, and he doesn't have the players to be able to do it. And
I did see his press conference after their loss today, actually.
Yeah, what was he like?
And he was very negative about Leeds, the style of play, the amount of goals that they've conceded. He'd mentioned that. It was very negative, very quiet, very short answers. He was giving kind of 2-3 word answers. It was very, it was a very negative one. From normally he's quite fiery, but yeah, seemed very down with Leeds today and how they're performing at the moment. So could be a bit of disharmony in there. That'd be quite nice as well to unsettle.
I honestly think it could be Norwich, Leeds, Brentford, and Watford could particularly squeeze out of it because of Roy Hodgson. Because he's been there and done that as well. And he's a bit like a Sam Allardyce, isn't he? He goes into clubs who are struggling and manages to keep them up somehow. So there's a chance that might, they could. And they've got 2 games in hand over Brentford, same amount of game as Leeds. But you just don't see Leeds picking up points at the moment.
I mean, I want Leeds to stay up because we get enough. It's difficult enough for teams in the north and the northeast to get respect. And the fact that Leeds have been doing well and they're in the league, we need every friend we can get, I think, going forward with the project. And I think Leeds being in the league helps because they understand, they get it. They get the whole media bias and they understand it. So I'd prefer they didn't go down. I know we've got a weird history with them and they were quite dirty and we've been quite dirty, but I'd prefer them to stay up rather than a sort of a Brentford or something. Definitely. And it would annoy Gabby Agbonlahor if Brentford go down as well. It would be funny.
I feel sorry for Christian Eriksen. He hasn't even kicked the ball yet, and it looks like he could go down. Right, very quickly, we'll come to some comments in the chat, and then that'll be the end of the show after that, if we can try and catch up and see if there's any good laughs in there. But please hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying what you're seeing. Hit the notification button, help the channel grow. Please consider being a member, 99p a month, $1.99 or $2.99. You choose your payment method and payment amount. And we will do members prize only draws for you. We sponsor Sports Trader. We're trying to get them as much money as we can through the year to help them with disadvantaged children. In the chat, there's a link at the very top to a raffle. It's £1 a ticket for a chance to try and win Alan Shearer's signed shirt from 1996. It's the beautiful Adidas one. If everyone buys one ticket, who I know a lot of money will go to charity. Yes, I am going to benefit from it because I do also actually have a family and need to pay for things and all this sort of stuff, and it is my shirt. So I am trying to sell 3,000 tickets. I will keep £1,000 of it, and then I will give £1,000 to Toon Trader and £1,000 to Alan Shearer's Foundation. So out of the tickets that are sold, almost 70% of it's going to go to charity and the rest of it to myself. So please consider buying a ticket, £1, and you could win that amazing shirt. It's a great collectible, and I'm mad for doing it, but why not? Please check out the sponsor of the channel, Northern Soul Photo Guide. Great prints, brighten up your home at any time. We've only got 4 of these left, guys. And as soon as we've sold the 4, we're going to give £100 to the food bank. Once these are all sold, they're never going to be made again. The guy who sells them has done it about 3 or 4 times. And this is the last time he's doing it. So if you want one of these lovely badges that you can hang inside or outside, please contact me ASAP. My email address is there. So contact me and I will set you up with some payment. I know I'm terrible at doing that. It's there. And the final one here, 2 more. Please check out Len Minnis, Carpentry and Joinery in the Northeast. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And FM for Claire. There's an offer on, so if you need any perfumes or aftershaves, please contact her. The stuff is fantastic, and there'll be a few people in the chat who have actually purchased it and will be able to vouch for it as well. So Willock was great. You can see the coaching and tactics being predicted week and shown in the weekend. Also players are improving. Can't say that about all of the teams around us. So I don't really like talking about the old regime, but we've got to mention it. Steve Bruce has been at West Brom for 3 games. He's drawn 1, lost 2, took over them when they were 5th. They're now 11th. Do people now wake up and actually realise Steve Bruce is finished?
I don't think they're ever going to tell us that we were right. They're never going to admit that they were wrong. So they'll just let it go under the radar. And they probably won't speak about it. But he's taken a potential promotion challenge into a mid-table really poor kind of like few weeks for West Brom. So I feel kind of bad for them because they've gone from a really strong looking promotion push to it being really under threat. And it's really poor football as well. So don't like living in the past, but we told you so.
Yeah, definitely. Willock only creating from midfield. I find that a little bit.
He is a midfielder.
Yeah, but creating from if he's the only one creating from midfield. I find that a little bit harsh because Fraser.
Only Willock creating midfield.
Only Willock.
The same way Jake did as well. I was so confused.
No, the only one creating, which I find.
I mean, Shelby's 8 long balls would argue with that. I think
our quarterback would probably have a dispute to say in that one, and
it's not his fault.
Isn't there to create.
Joelinton's there to break up play and give the ball easy and get us on the front foot, which he was absolutely phenomenal at doing yesterday. But again, Murphy and Fraser are the ones that created the goal for Willock to score as well. So it's not just Willock. Have you got any numbers, Alex, on Murphy's performance? Because on the eye, he was quite pleasing going forward. He was doing the right things until he got into that final third. And it really reminded me of a Joelinton where he panicked. He went to pieces when he had the option to either shoot or cross. He just seemed in two minds, like he's lost the confidence he need to be like an ASM in a way, creating things and just letting things happen, if that makes sense.
It does. I mean, this is where stats need to be taken with a pinch of salt because Murphy got a better rating than Joelinton statistically, and I did think Joelinton was very, very decent, and Murphy was okay. But he was okay. I mean, he tried 3 crosses, none of them were accurate. 0 out of 1 long balls. He won 3 ground duels, which, considering on his side he was pushing against Souček and Dawson. So, but again, their fullback was very, very poor. He had, I mean, this is something I was mentioning on the Tun review, is that I don't understand. I mean, I was told that Fredericks was their plan to contain Maxi.
Right.
I mean, he couldn't contain Murphy, so I don't know what was going on there. He got hooked at half time. He was booked. He was the lowest rated player on their side. Yeah. I don't think he could contain a mouse. I don't understand that. But if there's any West Ham fans, please tell me. If that was the game plan, I don't get it. I'm so confused.
Yeah, Wacky's in Murphy, the chat. He's a West Ham fan, so maybe he could tell us a little bit.
Yeah, give us a shout, Wacky, and let us know what the deal was with that one.
He was all right. 2 key passes. I didn't like his rosette shot because typically Murphy's one of our slightly more clinical players. He normally hits the crossbar or gets it on target or scores a few. So I didn't like him skying it. That was annoying. I want him at least to test the keeper. Too many shots over the bar from us this season. Just test the keeper for God's sake. And then Wood might have something to try and at least slowly gyrate and move towards to 1 mile an hour. Like, he needs chances from that. That's fair enough. But Murphy was all right. He got some tackles and interceptions as well. He lost the ball a lot. He lost his head in the second half. In the final 15, 20 minutes, he was losing the ball. He was a bit erratic with his positioning on and off the ball. And he got hooked for that exact reason, because Howe was like, no, I'm sorry, dude, but you've lost your focus. Maybe his energy dropped and therefore his decision-making dropped. It could have been that. It's a weird one. And again, but people haven't mentioned this yet. He's played at right wing back mostly for the last 2 years. So to go and play left mid against West Ham, well done. Like, he did all right. Yeah. He did a good job, because that's a very new position for him. So he did well. Yeah,
I thought so. John, thanks for the £5 super chat. You didn't need to do that, pal. We'll have you on next time, but not when we're near the end of the show. It would be a little bit pointless. I don't like just throwing people in when we're on a bit of a roll at the moment. I like to say what it is. I remember Evra had a nightmare in his first game for Man U when people were saying he was too weak for the Premier League. Turned out to be one of the best left backs in the league, didn't he, at the time? He's a funny guy as well, isn't he? Honestly, the Burn tackle was hilarious. The man is yes. Let's quickly touch on that. Ball was out of play. Dan Burn just thought, sod this, I'm taking Bowen with me, and just absolutely clattered him. I'm surprised he didn't actually get a yellow card for that. I know the ball was out when he wasn't in play, but they could class it as dangerous play.
Yeah, because he looked at the flag and then did it anyway. So he was a bit lucky there.
The problem with that is with this new offside rule is they flag for offside, but they still allow play to continue.
Yeah.
So it just kind of confuses everybody. And I think that is a prime example of why they shouldn't be doing the rule that way now.
Yes.
If it's offside, stop the game. Because you've got a player going in to make a challenge that is needlessly being made. Somebody's going to get hurt, by doing this. So I really would appreciate if they looked into that, because it's needless to allow play to go on. If you're going to stop play, stop play.
Yeah. Would anyone agree with this formation, a 3-4-3, but that kind of negates... I suppose it would work with Trippier being out and we don't really have a right back, I suppose.
Bruno, Shelvey, but that would
We'd be so imbalanced down the right-hand side, wouldn't we?
So the wing backs in this system are who? What?
He's got Target in there, hasn't he?
No, Target, but Target bench. No, I don't get
right.
Target.
It looks like there'd be too many gaps down the
Yeah.
wings for me playing that way. It looks similar to the one, Alex, the other night when you did Paul's show and you had the final formation on your fancy little lineup, which was quite cute, by the way. I really quite appreciate that one. The final one, it just looked like pure gaps galore as you go down the wings. And that to me looks like a replica of that. And I just don't think we should be inviting that kind of pressure.
Oh, I agree.
Especially not Joe Linton as a wing back. That I don't. Maybe that's not their intention, but that's how I read it. So if I'm wrong,
it's how it looks.
But it looks like Joe Linton wing back, and it looked like Willock right wing back as well.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying that. That scares me.
Yeah.
Put Ryan's comment up again, Baz. 2 ago. If Chris Wood was an Olympic sprinter, he'd get lapped over 100 meters.
Yeah, he definitely would. Bringing Bruno on to made competition in midfield, so the present players have to up their game, which they have done. The present three have upped their game so much, which you can't drop them.
I think he's just unlucky Shelvey's captain. If the captain was somewhere else on the pitch, or the leader was somewhere else on the pitch, I think he could swap it. But the fact that Shelvey's currently,
did say as well, he isn't a natural goal scorer. He's the breaker up of play and then the distributor, which is what Shelvey and that's doing at the moment. So if you're looking at bringing him on and thinking he's going to score you 15 to 20 goals as an attacking midfielder, that's not what he's going to bring.
He got 3 last season and he's on 0 this season. So
and
he's not
openly said it in interviews. He's not a goal scorer. He does the dirty graft work. So be careful which midfielder you want to take out for him here, because the other two that are doing that job at the moment are really solid for us. So
so the next 4 games, we've got Brentford away, Brighton at home, Southampton away, Chelsea away. They are tough games when you think about it. Obviously, Brentford is the one game we should be targeting. Brighton at home, potentially the form that they're in.
Oh, Joe Linton and Bissouma was going to be the most interesting of the season, I think.
Yes, definitely. Southampton are in fine form. Chelsea is obviously a free hit because we don't expect anything from it. Billy, I'll go with you first. How many points realistically should we be picking?
I'm going to say 7.
How many points are we realistically picking up? How many?
I'm going to say 7.
Would you?
I'm going to say 3
7?
points. Yeah, I'm going to say we'll beat Brentford. I think we'll beat Brighton. I think we'll get a point down at St Mary's.
Yeah, Jade.
Yeah, written down the same. I think beat Brighton, beat Brentford. And we get a point away at Southampton. Looking at Chelsea and the way that they're playing at the moment, they're kind of struggling up top. I read the stats on their wonderful £90 million striker for the game just gone. And I'm not going to give him 7 touches. I'll give him 6 because kickoff does not count. So he had 6 touches of the ball in 90 minutes. I think if we can keep the likes of Hakim Ziyech quiet, I don't see why we can't get a point against Chelsea at the minute, because they're not exactly flying. So I will. I'm going to go with a win against Brighton, a win against Southampton, possibly. I don't know. I'm going to go with 8.
I like that.
I'm going to go with 8.
How do we get 8?
2 wins, 2 draws. Chelsea. 2 wins and 2 draws, Baz.
2 draws, really?
Yes, I'm going for the point at Chelsea. I believe we can get a point against Chelsea.
Go for it. I love that comment. Bazza is right. That's the end of.
You are now officially blocked.
I love it. Alex, how many points?
I'm going to go with 6.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to. I think we'll win 2, and that'll be it. I think there's a slip up somewhere. I don't think. I think of the Brentford, Brighton, and Southampton. I think we win 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Southampton's going to be a tough game. It depends which Brighton turns up, because Brighton have been weird recently. They've been losing games, but then they've looked strong in large parts of those games. It's a bit weird. I think Brentford, anything but 3 points is an absolute banana skin. Like, we've got to get 3 points. So I think it's going to be 6. I don't think we're going to have enough for Chelsea. I agree that they've been poor recently. They've not been knocking in goals. They're there for the taking points wise. I just don't think we're ready to go and. I mean, I don't know. We've gotten a few. We got the 1-1 against Man United, but then prior to that, it was all poor against.
That was
the
at
bigger
home, though,
sides.
wasn't it? Against Man United, that's the difference, I think.
And just for the Lukaku comparison as well, I know there's been a lot. There's been so many people asking me for this Lukaku versus Wood stats comparison. I've got tons of stuff in the works, but it takes a while. So I'm doing a full stat review of Wood compared to other strikers who play a similar system to us in Europeans' top 5 leagues. And I'm going to explain exactly why Wood is terrible and show you it in comparison to a bunch of players that do far better than him in the same job with less quality around them, may I add, as well. Because not everybody's got Maxi left wing and, or a Shelvey to ping them. Some teams are poor when they have a target man who's up front and Wood. Yeah, but you'll see that, and there will be a Lukaku comparison as well. So I'll get to it. It'll take time, but it's coming.
I love it. CFC Florida, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Burnley drew against Chelsea when they were playing so much better. So Jade definitely has a good point. There you go. Cost them $5 to say Jade had a good point.
That was $5 was worth it.
Exactly. Right. This is how I think it's going to happen. Now, you've all said we're going to beat Brentford. We're going to possibly beat Brighton. We'll get a point against Southampton. You know what's going to happen? We'll get beat off Brentford. We'll draw with Brighton. We'll beat Southampton and we'll beat Chelsea because that's football.
If we get a result against Chelsea, then I'm really looking forward to the post-match show with Alex.
But that's how football happens, though, doesn't it? There's
if
crazy
not,
things happen.
I'm scheduled to be sick and wash my hair.
Yeah. To be honest with you,
I think I agree with your points. That's the thing.
I'm just being hopeful. I have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just sit and pick your own team apart, and I can't.
You're completely right. They are a bit wobbly. Definitely there for the taking points wise, whether it's 1 or maybe 3, probably 1. But I'm just trying to keep my feet on the ground, and I'm going with the loss against Chelsea.
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah.
Everyone in the bookies will be marking that down as the Chelsea win, regardless of how well we're playing, because they're chasing the top 4 or top 3, I guess, for them. Brentford are in free for all. So if you were looking as a betting head, you would definitely go for potentially a win away to Brentford. Definitely a very good chance of a win at Brighton at home because we're playing well at home. Southampton, I would actually put down as a banana skin and potentially a draw. I would take a point now with someone offered it.
You think it's a banana skin?
Well. Yeah, I think Southampton are playing really well.
At home, I think they should be beating us, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, we never do well at Southampton, do we? Let's face it, over the years, if you look at our comparison between our home at Southampton to away Southampton, we batter them at home and they normally batter us at home.
Yeah. I don't think their fans are going to be looking at that saying, oh, we can't.
They'll be thinking
they'll probably win, but yeah. I think they will be confident they will win that game, to be fair.
Definitely.
I hope Ericsson plays for Brentford next week, so I think our midfield will run all over it.
Yeah. Just so you know, I have messaged Paul to make sure he is all right after that stupid comment that came up. And he is fine, thank God. Because,
I've spoken to Natalie at Geordie Riffs and everything's okay. So anyone that's concerned, it's absolute bollocks from a scumbag.
Exactly. Why would someone say that? And I did block someone I timed him out for 5 minutes by mistake. I think he was just on that first comment. So I apologise if I've timed you out for 5 minutes, but I wasn't expecting to see the comment again. So that's why you got timed out. That's my fault. Emma Craftlow is predictable. Really needs someone better there. From is we don't have anybody who is better there. I mean, obviously there's a lot of talk of maybe Shaw playing right back or Lascelles having a go at right back, but you don't want to do that, do you, Alex? You don't want to put a centre back at right back because we don't know whether it's going to work or not. At least Kraft is an actual right back. His performance did.
No, he's a centre back.
Kraft, well, again, he has played well at centre back, hasn't he?
All day long.
Statistically, yeah, but
and visually, he's played his best games for us as a centre back. He's looked like he could possibly be at this level as a centre back, but he's never looked Premier League level as a right back, apart from the Man United game. In a three as well, yeah. Oh God, can you imagine Kraft in a back four as a centre back? Oh my days. Clark and Kraft, 2 centre backs. There you go, Bruce. There's your West Brom pairing for next season.
Yeah, definitely. Any news on Mancur for Brentford game? I've not heard anything on Mancur for the Brentford game, but I heard his injury is not as bad as what they all first thought, and he could be back very, very soon. So we don't want to rush him back, though, because if he gets injured in the Brentford game, we'll then lose him for God knows how long, and then we don't have a right back again. So I think the key for Mancur is to make sure he's fully fit before we throw him back in, because there's a lot more important games than just Brentford. There's a lot of other games as well. So why don't you make one of those videos up tracking every bit of input that Wood does? It may show something different than you saw, perhaps. I wouldn't even know how to do that, to be honest with you, or where to start on that.
I need it to be my full-time job to be able to dedicate that. That'd take a lot of time.
But I imagine it'd be less time with Chris Wood than any other.
I was literally about to say.
I don't want to spend 5 hours watching clips of Chris Wood running around the 18-yard box. Please, no.
A few people are saying Fraser man of the match. Not bad. Happy Feet, yes. Happy Feet, yes. That email address is on the screen for a reason, and it's also in the description, mate. It is the World of Sport email address, not my personal one. So I'd like people to contact me if they want to buy one of those amazing signs. Remember, £40. Get them bought. They're brilliant. Jade, if you were Howe, what formation would you play with current players available? Come on, Jade.
With the current players available, I would stick with how Eddie Howe is currently playing it, either with the kind of 4-3-3, 4-1, kind of full swap over that we do between defence and counter-attacking at this moment in time with these players available. I would stick with how we're going because it works with what's available. I wouldn't change it.
I completely agree. I went with a 4-2-3-1, thought I was being all clever, and I completely prefer what Howe did. And that's why he's a football manager and I'm an enthusiast. Because he's very good at what he does. It was very good. He knows what he's doing.
No
Kickshaw, Botman, not as good as... Whoa. Really? Someone doesn't watch enough French football, I think.
Different league, different ages, different points of their career. Exactly. It's a little bit difficult to compare someone who's been in the Premier League for so long and somebody who's only 21 and hasn't fully, hit any ground yet. So
Burns a pressurer as well, and Botman's not. He's a ball player, and it's
they're very different. So it's hard to compare players who different ages, different points, different jobs that they do in those positions as well.
I agree.
It could be the mentor. It could be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Target again wasn't exceptionally, but he was solid again. This is the thing, and if the reason why Target will be so good for us for the rest of the season is that when Maxi is pinned on that left, Maxi has the knowing that Target's behind him and also will run past him and also get back, because Maxi doesn't get back, let's face it. When Target is shown, especially against Everton, he can handle it if Maxi's not helping out. So.
Remember how much he freed up Maxi as well in the prior cup, in those games. The space that he then gives Maxi to run in because Target is doing that job in behind him. So I do think we need to praise the job that he's doing because he releases that side of our attack.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. My God, the weather is horrendous outside in York, by the way.
Everybody criticised Maxi for the Villa game, and it's because of what you guys have just said. Target allowed him to do that against Everton. Yeah. That's why he didn't do it against Villa. Yeah, he didn't have that extra person.
Yes. And that's what we've all been calling for. So I think we should be praising Target for coming in and bringing in what we've all been asking for with a left back.
Yeah, definitely. Because Dummett didn't, at once, I don't think Dummett got past the ASM against Villa, did he? I can't remember him ever going past him. So Norwich, Watford, Everton to go down. There's a good one.
With laughing faces.
Yeah.
Little
same as Billy for the relegated clubs. Be so funny if Everton went down.
It would be hilarious. It really would. I think that would be highly entertaining for me.
The other one that would be funny,
wouldn't there, to buy if they went down? That'd be interesting. That'd be a really interesting summer. They'd have to get rid of 10 players.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to ask you a player for the summer. Rafinha, yes or no, Billy?
Yes.
Jade?
No, because I want Isco.
I love it.
And he's free, so...
Why not both? Why not both?
Because where are you going to fit them all?
You couldn't play both in one side.
You couldn't play them both down that side.
You need a squad, though, don't you? You need a squad of players.
Rafinha can sit on the bench then and, tie his course boots and get his water in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. Isco could be injured, then Rafinha needs to come in for him, doesn't he? Alex?
If we don't go for Isco, then yes, of course, Rafinha. But I have my first choice.
I mean, I agree with everything. I'd take both. And I'd have Rafinha 100% because we'd all of a sudden have two players of near equal quality on the left wing and the right wing. And we wouldn't be so easy to plan for. They would be terrified. They wouldn't be able to shift to defend both sides. And then all of a sudden Willock would get more. That's when we start getting goals all over the pitch because those two together, it'd just be madness. I think we would step up so much in quality with them two. And I'd take Isco on a free and play him in a 10. I'd play a 4-2-3-1 with Isco in a 10, 100%. And then Shelvey, Willock, Bruno and Joe have got to fight out for that double pivot. Competition for places. We want to be playing in many competitions. I mean, hopefully next year we don't get knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Burnley in the first bloody game. So we're going to need more players for those games. So,
Gemma, no is the answer, unless there's a need for it, and I'm going to get paid a hell of a lot of money, and I can quit my job. Then I might consider it, and it pays my mortgage off. Then why not?
Please don't message Baz telling him if there's a need for it. Just let that thought sit in his own head.
Exactly.
Don't confirm it.
Billy, are you all right? You've been quiet, or are you too busy messaging Gemma on the side?
Just been doing a bit of detective work, mate, about the troll earlier.
Ah, right, cool. Detective work with Gemma, I'm guessing.
No. Natalie,
you've actually been doing some detective. I'll let you off then.
Natalie Jordan, she'll confirm it.
All right, that's okay.
In regards to OAJ, who mentioned about Isco and Rafinha playing in the same position, they kind of do, because Isco will play in the front three. You don't take Maxi out of the left, so Isco isn't going to play on the left. Isco will play on the right of the front three, and that's also where Rafinha would play.
The team would be able to double up on both of them at once, would they? So we'd like Alex says, the space created.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just responding to they don't sit on the same side. They effectively would sit on the same side.
Yeah, Isco's played
in the front
he's
three.
played right wing and he's played 10. I think Zidane tried a 4-2-3-1 with him in a 10 and him on the right side. It's changed around a lot. I don't know. It's a funny one. I'd just take him. I'd take him anyway. I don't care. I'd take him to sit on the bench just because he's a star. I don't even care.
Yeah.
If we sign him, you'll see me outside the club shop, 4 a.m. waiting for it to open. I'll be there.
Although idea, an aging Isco, could we have a Bruno Isco double pivot? Would that ever be a thing? Could he play that? I haven't watched him in.
I don't care where we play him. If we could just sign him for me, just stop any. I don't care.
When he's on free.
He's on a free. Doesn't matter. Just get him.
As long as the wages aren't ridiculously stupid, then because you don't want to upset the avocado. I would love to see you score.
We should be all right with wages, right?
With him, we should be fine.
But I mean, we're getting rid of what? Hendrick, Gayle, Fernandez,
Gillespie.
Clark, Gillespie. We're going to have 250k, 250k wages off the books. So we can put in 250k and then increase. We got a big wage budget for the summer.
That's true.
Can I just say
that?
Can I just have that confirmation from Paul? He's okay, everyone, so don't worry. He's fine.
Yeah, I said that. I told you a message.
Oh, right, you got a message as well.
Do you have any assist stats from midfield free, Alex?
For the season, I can have a look.
Yeah. Shouldn't take too long, that one. While he's doing that, we'll go to the next one. Only thing I think of is Fredericks is slightly more experienced than Johnson, but I prefer Johnson. He's more attacking. So that's Wacky, the West Ham fan, answering about why Fredericks might have been ahead of Johnson in the starting 11. That's the only thing he can think of. So Kraft put a couple of good crosses in. Look who it is. It's man himself, Johnson Clare. What else is going on in here? what's this one? Paul Chambers will use Moyes out next season if you're in the bottom half. I don't think West Ham will be in the bottom half next season. All they need is a couple of good signings, another striker, and they'll potentially be top 8 again, won't they, Jade?
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be top 10 next season, to be fair. I think they're building quite a nice squad there. So providing they can keep the players, I think they will. I can't see them being any danger.
Right. And then there we go. No point. Yeah, go on.
Midfield. It's a really good question because you taught me something. Our dynamic trio has 1 assist between the 3 of them, which is from Joelinton.
Was it?
Shelby's not got one, and Willock's not got one. I didn't know that. That surprised me actually. It's probably
I'm not actually, because it's all Maxi Fraser really. Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to check.
Never remember anyone playing a killer pass in that midfield three. Shelby's too deep really to play a killer pass for a goal.
Well, where the Brighton goalkeeper got sent off, Joe didn't play one, didn't he? Well, no, he didn't create goal, but
Shelby's one of those players that will get a lot of second assists in terms of he'll play the ball that starts the move.
Yeah, starts to move off,
and he won't really get credit for that statistically, which is why John Joe is such a, it's such a marmite, because it's hard to explain why he's good at what he does. Sometimes visually and statistically, he's just one of those weird players.
I love watching him play. I mean, I remember when he first came, I said he's going to be fantastic for us, and I used to just spend 20 minutes of it, 90 minutes just watching him move to see where his positional sense was and the way he took the ball off the back four all the time. And he used to take it, give it, but he used to just push us up like that all the time. And then suddenly you were in their half, and then things used to start happening. He was very clever at doing that. I don't see it too much now with the way that the formation is, but when Rafa was there, that's what he was very good at doing, was slowly moving us up the pitch with not really doing anything spectacular, but then you would find that killer ball.
It was because they'd fake the ball, wouldn't they? Because they've got Rondon Perez, so if they were expecting the ball, they'd position for it, and then they'd wiggle and then it was a weird one. And by the way, Sean Longstaff's got 1 assist, Hayden's got 0. So there's 2 assists across all 5 of those midfielders, which is quite bad.
So ASM is the one that's really probably the only one with the assists, isn't he?
I mean, considering people criticise him, I mean, there's just nothing else in the team.
That just shows how bad the squad has been allowed to lead over the years, doesn't it?
I haven't seen Brian for a while. I hope you're well, pal. Okay, everyone. Chelsea have got 5 games and we've only got 3 before we play each other. They could be knackered and on a downer from the cup final.
Yes, Brian. Hopefulness. That's all we want to see. That's what we
like to hear. There is one thing I want to point out from the... what's this one say, Barry? Soon. All right, okay. I was really disappointed in the last, say, 4 or 5 minutes of the game that we didn't try and go and win it. And I think Bruno was as well, because when we were going forward, we kept the ball on the left-hand side. We didn't look to swing it in the box. We weren't getting men forward quick enough for my eyes. We were happy with the point at the end of the game. Now, if Maxi was playing, he would have been going for the win.
Was it? Knackered, to be honest with you.
They were knackered as well.
They were absolutely knackered.
It was just frustrating because I watched the last 5 minutes.
Bowen caused us a lot of problems down that side. So
he did.
I think they were just trying to sit in their banks and probably settle for the point, but I was happy with the point.
Yeah, I was happy with the point, don't get me wrong. I just thought, just go and win the game. If Maxi was on the pitch, he would have still tried to have won that game. And I think that's the difference. From where they were knackered,
we would have left gaps.
Yeah.
I'm happy we didn't, because we would have overextended, and that's when we've lost points.
That's when we get hit.
Previously.
When we try and go wild.
There's a good point there. How can we keep the tempo with 4 games in 9?
4 games in 9 days. 4 games. There's going to have to play someone else. There's no way he plays Wood in 4 games in 9 days.
Okay, that's 4 games. Thank you.
Yeah, it's maybe 9 days, I think. But again, that's where squad comes into it, doesn't it? This is where Bruno might get his chance, and one of those 3 in midfield will have to drop out. Shelby can't win that many games, can he? Shelby won't be able to do that.
Yeah, no way. But who plays for Wood? Wood can't play 90 minutes in 9 days.
I guess you've got to trust Gayle, haven't you? That is the start of reality.
Go with that false thing again and try chucking a Fraser up there like he did in the cup game. I can't see him playing Gayle.
Yeah. When is the international break? It's a good question. I don't know. And there you are, Gayle straight in there.
I've had enough of those.
I think the international break comes at a good time for us in the next couple of weeks because we can hopefully get Mancure back fully fit, ASM fully
more time
fit.
for injuries to recover.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it benefits us in that respect. But during the season, when a season gets flowing, it's like when a season first starts, and you just get into the rhythm, of the season and get a few weeks under your belt, and all of a sudden there's a 2-week gap.
Yeah.
And then you get back in and it gets going again, and there's another 2-week gap, and it's just really frustrating.
It is, but it's going to work.
Well, it's benefited us this year, but any other given year, it's annoying.
Probably. Right, very quickly again, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed what you've seen tonight and hit the notifications to let you know that we're live. Please consider becoming a member for 99p. You'll be put into a draw to win this when we get 1,000 members. We're miles away from it, but we will hit that one day. So that shirt, Alan Shearer's replica shirt, will be given away. There's a link in the chat for a raffle to buy tickets, £1 a ticket to try and win Alan Shearer's number 9 shirt from 1996. It's an absolute classic shirt, signed in the perfect spot by Alan Shearer himself. So please consider buying a raffle ticket and trying your luck on that. We've got 4 of these left and they're never going to be made again. So if you want a badge, please contact me on the email address that's in my name. And please check out our sponsor of the channel, Northern Soul Photo Guy. Absolutely fantastic. And as Stato's on the channel, Geordie Riffs are also the sponsor of Tune Review. Please check out for any guitar needs. Give them a shout. They're absolutely fantastic. And they love watching this channel as well. So I'm happy to give them a shout out while we're on. So we'll CFC Florida, thank you very much for the $5 super chat and win the message. No offense, but if Gayle is the answer, there's something wrong with the question. That is brilliant. Unless it's Gayle is moving to, and then that's probably the right one. Brian says he's fine. It's been a while since we spoke, mate, so I'm just glad you're okay. We'll end the show there very quickly, though. What are your predictions for the weekend, guys? I'm at work, so I'm hoping Jade or Billy's going to do a watch along for the channel. Just throwing you in under the bus there, so one of you can do it. Billy, what's the score going to be? I love doing that.
I'm going to say Brentford 1, Newcastle United 3.
Ooh, confident. Jade?
I'm going to go for 2-0 to Newcastle.
Oh, wow, clean sheet.
I do, yes.
Alex? I love that pose.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's a banana skin, and
it's Kraft, and because Tony's their left-sided striker, and Kraft is
he fit?
Kraft.
I've heard rumours he might not.
He was injured.
Fit. Plus, Rico Henry called the attacks down there as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with us to win. I'll go with a 2-0. I think we'll score, we'll consolidate, and I think we'll get a clean sheet. I think we've been improving defensively. The centre-backs are good. I feel like the fact that we conceded from a set-piece, Howe was annoyed by that because Murphy lost his man. I know you mentioned earlier that it was Kraft. Kraft was just ball watching, but it wasn't his man. Dawson was Murphy's man. He let him slip through the wall. Yeah. And I said this on the Toon Review that, granted, if ASM was on, he probably would have let him slip as well. So it wouldn't have made a difference. But
Murphy should be marking their centre half with a set piece.
The reason why I blame Kraft, though, is because he didn't follow the flight of the ball. And if he had, he would have got there in front of Dawson.
He's too busy watching it.
It wasn't his man, and he was too busy watching it. So, and it was his fault for the free kick giving it away in the first place, because you should never have done that foul in my eyes.
Yeah, well, I think this is why we'll get a clean sheet with the 2-0, because I think we won't get caught with the offside trap, and I don't think we'll concede a set piece, because I think Howe will be really annoyed that they conceded from that, because he said in his interview, like, they knew Dawson was a threat from that exact set piece, and he was really annoyed that that wasn't Byrne's man. Antonio was Byrne's man, and he peeled up. Byrne checked Antonio, saw that he wasn't a threat, moved and nearly picked up somebody else's man. Byrne is not at fault for that. Byrne did a cracking job.
If you watch him, he has his man, sees he's way back, and then attempts to try and cover up another man to make up that ground, and he just can't get there quick enough.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the highlight,
that still leaves the likes of Chris Wood, Fabian Schär to be marking one of their centre halves. Really, shouldn't be left to the window.
It's because he was outside the wall. It was a good set piece from Moyes, to be fair. They've obviously worked on it, but Dawson was like, they had their wall set up, and Dawson was hiding around the back right of it. And obviously, you want your centre backs kind of more central in the set piece. So I don't know. It's a real. Should somebody else been on Dawson? I could argue that why was like Joe Linton or somebody not on Dawson?
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody a bit taller, because Murphy's, even if Murphy went with him, is he going to out jump Dawson?
No, probably not.
With that one,
I've made that
very
note.
quickly,
They did the
we
same
don't
thing
really
against
know.
Leicester with the Dawson.
Did they? There you are.
Yes, it was in my scribbles.
We don't know what Mantua is going to be fit or not, and I'm sure he's a doubt because he didn't play the last game, so we're not 100% sure on his
They said
availability.
I read a couple of weeks, so
yeah, Antonio slightly blocked the run as well, which is probably part of the tactic. You find that, don't you? They want to hit one person with the cross, and they'll do everything they can to free up that person by blocking defenders and blocking runs and stuff like that. Someone just said there's 3 games on Wednesday. I've just checked. There's some important games on Wednesday.
Yeah, big games.
Massive games. Burnley at home to Spurs, Watford at home to Palace, and Liverpool at home to Leeds. Cricket score in the Leeds game. I'm hoping Spurs beat Burnley, obviously after their freak result against Man City, but they seem to like beating Man City and Man City Spurs, don't they?
Well, it was Harry Kane.
If you watch that back four of Man City during that game, it was diabolical.
Yeah.
Like, it was some of the worst defending I've seen from that team. Given
Kyle
the players
Walker
they've
dreadful,
got,
wasn't
it was
Walker.
disgraceful.
And Spurs didn't win that game. It was 100% Harry Kane.
City.
Harry Kane won that game for them. He just turned up. I wish he'd turn up more often than that, but he has he
turned up because it was against Man City though?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Shot window.
This is sure a point. Have you seen Elliot Anderson is performing for Bristol Rovers? Yes, I have tried to get hold of a Bristol Rovers fan to come on and have a chat about how well he's doing, but I haven't had any bites yet, which is a bit of a shame.
Ask Andy?
Are they League One, are they?
Yes.
So isn't that weird that Elliot Anderson is currently challenging, like learning his trade in the league above Matty Longstaff right now?
Yes.
I
think Elliot Anderson was always a better player, personally. So I'll throw it out to everyone in the chat very quickly before we go. We'll do a watch along on Wednesday, or I'll do a watch along on Wednesday. Which game do you want me to watch? Do you want me to watch Burnley Spurs, Watford Palace, or Liverpool Leeds? Which one would you prefer me to watch?
Baz, do a poll.
I'll do a poll. Yeah, I'll get in touch with 2 polls.
Throw it up on a poll. Get it up there.
I'll throw it up on Twitter, and I'll throw a poll in YouTube as well, because you can do that. So we're about to because I'm completely lost now.
Well, I'll shout out poll as well for Tuesday. We got the fan forum on Tuesday night on the Toon review, so I've got to shout out Boss Man.
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Hope he's feeling all right, and
I'll see you all in the comments.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing on Monday night yet. Paul hasn't been in touch about that yet. It all depends how he feels. Because 4 Horsemen's every 2 weeks now.
I think he was 50-50, so
so we'll see what happens. Oh, apparently they're in League 2.
Oh, they are. Okay.
I thought they were League
mistake.
1. Oh well. But there you go. So
thank you, Andy.
I'm not sure what we're doing on Monday night. Tuesday, Toon Review's got the fan forum at 8 o'clock. Is that right? Fan forum 8 o'clock, or is it 9 o'clock?
That's a great question. It's on Tuesday evening. Check
you
Twitter.
Remember to say it. That's the main
Go and follow
thing.
the Toon Review on Twitter, and then you'll be.
8, isn't it? 8,
it's only about 8:30.
Or go and follow Baz, because he normally retweets us as well. Go and follow him on Twitter as well.
We on our channel, we've got the Premier League review. Probably do that about 6 o'clock or something like that again, so we don't clash with anyone. But it's a good show, so please tune in. We always have different voices on. What's this one? Baz, do a few tips lumped in on a Wednesday. Obviously, a few people were watching me today, and I got 2 out of 2 today, so I've done all right. But I might do a little bet on Wednesday night as well for everyone to follow, to make the games a little bit more interesting as well.
You've been called out.
Alex 8:30, there you go, buddy.
Yes, that one.
8:30. Sorry, Julie.
Yeah,
my bad.
I knew it was 8 or 8:30. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, keep an eye out for us. Billy, is the golf back this Wednesday or next Wednesday?
It won't be this week, because if you're doing the watch along in Gallagher Girls, no chance of it.
No, we know Gallagher Girls. It'll be the watch along. Which is funny because if you want something to watch before you watch Baz do his commentary, if you go to the Outside Looking In pods, myself, Ricky, and our sponsors in Toon Trader have got a really awesome chat lined up with Newcastle. And they sponsor me.
I love it.
We've got a chat lined up with a Newcastle-born coach who's overdoing it pro in America. So come and have a listen, and it should be a good one.
I tell you what I will do, actually. I'll do the watch along, but I'll have 2 games on. I'll watch the Liverpool Leeds one. I'm going to go for it. I've got an iPad, I've got a phone. I can do 2. So I'll do Burnley Spurs and I'll do Liverpool Leeds, and I'll leave the Watford Palace game because that'll probably be a bit boring.
That's going to get messy with your
You
commentary.
said
That'll be
Wednesday
fun.
nights were dead.
I'll do the Liverpool Leeds as the commentary, but I'll keep an eye on the Burnley Spurs game at the same time, and I'll try and mix between the 2 of them. It'll be quite interesting, won't it? Jade can't be bored. Well,
I mean, it depends if your name's Isco or not, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, if you know Isco, Hudaba, there's a couple of names on that team sheet that probably could buy me, to be fair. But other than that, no.
Fucking Gemma. Is Gemma talking in the third person here? She likes talking about herself. A bit like the Hoff. The Hoff.
You know, Gemma's terrified me to go back into my DMs, to be fair. So I'm just.
Very quickly then, Wednesday night, what results are we looking for? I personally think Spurs win, Watford Palace draw, Liverpool win. Everyone agree?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I think that was an easy one, wasn't it, really? But yeah, thank you, Alex, again for coming on as always. You know, you're a big plus to this channel as well as obviously for Paul's channel where you belong. Jade, obviously, and Billy, my co-host, they're always going to be here. I can't get rid of them. I'm joking. You know I love these.
You can get rid of me as soon as you like, mate.
Yeah, mate. So I'll bail, seriously, because, you know, I love a good chat with Paul. So team reviews, the door's always open for me over there.
Yeah, but you get more saying over here than what you would over there, and you know that. But yes, thank you.
Wound up over there, to be fair, so I might go give it a go.
You love it. It's why we do it. But thanks for joining, as always, everyone in the chat as well. The chat has been lit. I'm sorry I couldn't read out all the comments. It just gets a little bit too much sometimes, and we want to try and bring you a good show as well by talking all the stats and figures and everything else that's been going on. Gallagher Girls will be back a week on Wednesday then because of the live watch long, as long as there's no other games next Wednesday, which isn't. Thank God for that. It's FA Cup. Don't care about the FA Cup because we're not in it. So please tune in tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll let you know. And then tune in on Tuesday, tune in on Wednesday. I'm sure there'll be something on Thursday. There'll be something on Friday. There'll be something on Saturday. And there'll definitely be something on Sunday. Jade and Billy will do a watch along, or one of them will do a watch along for the Newcastle Brentford game. That'll be interesting while I'm at work. And I'll try and get it on the big TV at work, so everyone can see who my lovely co-hosts are. But until then, have a great night, everyone. And see you soon.